and boom goes the dynamite.
And welcome back to the only live Monday through Friday lacrosse talk show. This is the Daily Dive. I'm your host, Michael Carbellis. To everyone on the West Coast, good morning. And to everyone on the East Coast, good afternoon. It's time for lunch and some lacrosse talk. On today's show, we'll be talking about those new Premier Lacrosse League uniforms. Yes, the PLL and Champion have released it, and we're going to break it down, even though I know a lot of you already do not like them. Our Fanatics segment will be NLL changes we need to see based on, of course, the thing that we got from Brett Frude and his interview with John Gertler. And our last brew, presented by B-Res Coffee Company with code DailyDive at checkout, is there a possible merger between two enemies coming up? I'll tell you why that comes up and what could happen. Head to Daily Dive Lax on social media, and the best way to support the show is buy the merchandise with this logo on it. When you do that, you go to Daily Dive Lax on social media, via Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. You go there, you click the link tree, and then click the Our Store tab. When you purchase something with that logo on it, it helps out the show tremendously. Support us as we try to grow the game. And our top story presented by that store is the PLL uniform release. So this is via the PLL's official website. Let's get to it. If you'll notice a theme with these uniforms, it appears to be one consistent branding. Before, especially the Chaos jersey stands out to me. Before, it would be like, a bunch of stuff on one jersey and little to nothing on another jersey, and they were both home jerseys. Some people like that. But after seeing these, I like this a little bit, almost more than before. I know people were thinking of these all-new cool designs that could have happened. I know fans are going to come on, social media and go crazy. And I know this doesn't look great right now. And I understand that. But I actually like how they did this. So you notice the Champion logo, the logo itself, the team color, and I believe all these are one team color. And then, of course, you have something on the side of the uniform. Now, for the Whip Snakes, which stands out to me as pretty awesome, I actually like these a lot. I think these are cool. I like the way they like the jersey, and here's the back of it, by the way. Try to see if I can zoom into. There you go. So if you look at it, I wish I could zoom in. On the sides of it, it looks like a snake. It looks like snake skin. And to me, that little thing right there is good enough to keep me going. I actually like it. Again, I like these things. I know I'm in the minority, as I am most of the time on my sports takes, but these are actually pretty cool. For the Cannons, there's been speculation already in the comments that this could be like the Patriots colors almost. And they pretty much are. I mean, we had that already. Of course, the Redwoods have this weird tree thing going on, which I actually like. I know some fans don't. Chaos, I like how simple but yet unique the Chaos look. Because remember, I'm a Chaos fan, okay? Not because they have a bunch of Bandits players, because I like their uniform. I like the little scorpion. I think Andy Towers is an awesome coach. I've had him on the show a few times. And to me, I kind of like it hits home with me. I love the red and black. I think their uniform actually improves, and I think we can all agree on that. I didn't like I was talking to my buddy the other day, and we were talking about how the front of it was all red and black, and the back of it was like white and black. It looked weird. It looked congested. So I know for now these things are obviously not the same wow uniforms that you had before, but I like them. I do. Of course, the away jerseys are pretty similar to the homes, just like, of course, that weird off-white or gray color. I don't know if I like this Redwoods color, like the trees right there on the Redwoods jersey, but again, these aren't bad. I think they actually look pretty good. Again, I like the fact the league just stuck with one consistent thing, while each team obviously has their own feel to it. Like they all have their own little accents on the sides. Another thing that I want to get to with these is like which one's the best in my opinion. I like the Cannons. It looks, I don't know if it's because it's like a football jersey. The Cannons are the only team with the number on the jersey, on the front of it, I mean. So that's an interesting take. I actually love the Whip Snakes. I love the Chaos. And I love the Water Dogs. I love that big old, whatever that dog-looking thing is right there with the lacrosse stick in his mouth. It looks good enough to me. It looks simple, but you can tell it's still the same brand. And also you have to remember, these things cannot be, oh my gosh, they're incredible already. Because we still have those regions/locations coming up. Remember what Paul Rabel said. Paul Rabel told us in an interview with ESPN that when they got to like that quarter, that he got at Q4 of this year, immediately social media and the website and the app were all going to change. They're going to come like that, and like you got to get ready for it. So like it doesn't matter if you're living in Georgia like me and you like the Chaos and they go to Buffalo. Oh well, he's basically saying it's going to happen very quickly. So I'm excited for that. I think the uniforms will change a little bit. I think we'll grow to appreciate them more. I know the instant knee-jerk reaction on social media is, oh, they stink, they're terrible, they're not like the old ones. Well, yeah, they're not supposed to be. It's a complete rebranding. I actually like it. I hope you guys can find the silver lining with it as well. When I come back, Dilly Dive, here on Dilly Dive Live on social media, and of course, our YouTube channel, subscribe there with 43 people already have. We're going to talk about some NLL changes that I want to see and we need to see, and I've got 6 of them for you with a bonus one as well. Don't go anywhere. Dilly Dive will continue next. Segment, of course, brought to you by Fanatics. Has Dilly Dive Lax on social media, and click the link tree, and then of course the Fanatics logo, and there you will see all the awesome leagues and players that you love and teams again from all leagues. So when you go to that link tree and click the Fanatics logo, you're opened up to not just the NLL but all kind of stuff. And when you make a purchase using that link, it helps out us tremendously. For that, we thank you, Fanatics. So let's get to 6 NLL changes we need to see in the offseason. The reason this comes up, because NLL Commissioner Brett Frude came on WGR 550, the radio station, with John Gertler Jr., who we had on the show, I believe, last Friday maybe. And John had teased that he was going to have him on at halftime. And I really enjoyed how transparent but also kind of tight-knit the conversation was. It was a lot more than I have heard from Brett Frude in a while. Because obviously he's now seen that he was in game 2 at that point. He sees some changes that he can make, and he said they're not going to be huge yet, but he was teasing some off-season tweaks. So, what do I want those off-season tweaks to be? Let's get to it. The first thing I would like to see, and if you're a fan of the show, bear with me because I'm going to have some new things here as well. But first of all, for me, injury transparency. As I mentioned before on the show, I would love to see if we get something like an area of the body, duration or severity, or if you got hurt at work, it's separate. Because I know these guys some of them work Monday through Friday jobs, so they may not want to say, hey, I was working at FedEx this past weekend in a warehouse and pulled my shoulder and now I can't play. I don't need to hear all that. But like if it's hurt at work, just say hurt at work, minor injury, can't play or might play through some pain. That could be fine. It's better than the crappy, the upper body. We don't know when he's coming back. But that could be anything. That could be literally anything. The dude could need Tommy John surgery. We'll never know. That, to me, is where we need to draw the line. So, again, I'll break this down for you. I want it to be like, instead of upper body, lower body, like that's just so boring. Like, give me a break. Tell me if it's like a wrist injury or a hand injury. I don't want to hear he had a broken patella or whatever in his, right wrist. It's like a fourth bone. I don't care about all that. Just tell me, hey, had a right hand injury. It was either minor, moderate, or severe. And let's just say it's a moderate hand injury. He'll miss today's game and may come back the next game, but he'll be questionable. Okay? That could work. It's not hard to do that. It's not giving away a guy's complete livelihood. It's just saying, hey, he's got a knee injury that he tweaked in a game or tweaked in practice. And again, if you're hurt at work, you don't have to tell me what it is. Just say he's hurt at work, minor injury, we're good. Might play through it, might not. Who cares? Or if you're unable to come because of work, let us know. It helps. I appreciate it more. Again, I know players, some of them might not be down with this, but from a fan's perspective, from the optics side of things, if I hear that some guy cannot randomly play a playoff game, it would not be nice to know, hey, he had to work and God knows he gets paid more at work, which I don't like. It's kind of sad, but it's not his fault. He's got to make ends meet. So let me know why he missed a very important game. Say, hey, unable to come to play because of work. That's not hard to do. I think that could be easy, man. Number 2 is contract visibility. So I was looking back at some old Buffalo Bandits Instagram posts, and I saw before the draft, the players of the Bandits decided to keep because it was an expansion draft. Now, one of the players they did not keep was Connor Fields. And people in the comments were so confused about why Connor Fields could not come back. Like they had no idea about his contract. In the NBA, the NFL, and the NHL, one of the best things about other leagues is knowing how long a guy is on a contract. Even if you don't want to tell me, hey, this guy makes, $10,000, this guy makes $10. You don't got to tell me all that. I don't care. It would be nice. It would be a nice, bonus. But I would like to know, again, speaking from a fan's perspective, to be more open. I would like to see, hey, guys under contract for 3 years, guys under contract for half a season. The fans need to know that. Because as we see in the NBA and even more so the modern day NFL, it's very player friendly. And if you want to adapt and grow the game and not be stuck like you have been the last 35 stinking years, you think you have to adapt to life as it changes, okay? Sometimes you may not like it. Sometimes I may not even like it. It's how it works. It's how entertainment business works. You have to adapt. Not everything is the Da Vinci Mona Lisa, okay? You can't just hang in a museum for 35 years and it collects dust. You dust it off every now and again. This has to keep changing locations. You got to keep changing how it looks. Got to repaint it. This is not the Mona Lisa, okay? That was one of the best analogies I've ever had on this show. You're welcome. Number 3, and I'm biased at this point, it's the NLL app. Every league out there has an app besides the NLL. And I was more drawn to this when I saw how perfectly designed the PLL app was. It made me low-key feel like a bad boy. I'm saying I do a show that's mainly NLL. I'm like, oh, this is so, oh, wow. Ooh, I feel like a bad boy because I loved it. I'm not supposed to love it. I'm not going to say it's impossible for me to be a fan of the PLL. I'm just saying, as an NLL fan, as a box lacrosse fan, I was very jealous. I was like, man, and it's still on my phone because, again, you can't beat it. You cannot beat the new PLL app. It is sensationally made. Why can't the NLL do that? Huh? We can't. There's no way in a burning furnace we cannot do that. Like, they have their own PLL Nation or Fantasy going on the PLL app, and I would personally like to see Men of Varsity, since it's linked to the the NLLPA. Why not put that on the app like the PLL does with their Fantasy? It would make it so much easier. That way, Men of Varsity would not even have to make an app. We can literally just have a mobile-friendly app that had that as an option. So I could collect my cards and buy them, So I can waste more money. Don't you want that? And of course, I know this is like a pipe dream, but I wouldn't mind seeing the other website that we talked about months ago, where they have the autographs, like the memorabilia for the NLL. That was a big deal when it first came out. Yeah, some guys didn't like it. I loved it. I'm a fan. You guys can suck it. These players, I don't want to do this. These players have got to suck it up sometimes, man. I'm okay with Del Bianco and and Curtis Dixon coming at me on Twitter, but it's like not everyone's just gonna slap you on the butt and say, "Hey, good game, pal." Same with this. Not everyone's gonna keep so uptight and personal. Like, dude, open up to fans. You want new fans, you gotta adapt a little bit. It's okay to not be so high and tight, man. Come on now. So when you may not get 100% of this money, who cares, dude? It'll work out in the end. But you have, again, for 35 years, obviously something has not been done right. And one of the things is the visibility and the transparency of this crap. And so I think the NLL app, again, having the fantasy from the Man of Varsity, because again, it's linked to the NLLPA, would be nice. And of course, obviously the memorabilia stuff. Number 4 for me is more linear TV opportunities. I know we're in the streaming age. I know YouTube this and ESPN Plus that, which I'm a big fan of. But the fact that if the rumor is true again, that Brett Frude walked in the ESPN offices in Bristol, Connecticut and said, "Yo, we're going on ESPN2. Here's why it works." Then why can't we do that for a couple of regular season games next year? It doesn't have to be all of them. Now, let me lie. It would be nice if every single game was on ABC. I'm not going to lie about that. But because I understand how things work, I feel like every 2 or 3 weeks, can we have like the best game of the week, or maybe like one game a week on ESPN2, or at least ESPNU. It doesn't have to be ESPN2. ESPNU would work, but it's just the next step in growing. Because, like I said, the PLL is taking off like a rocket ship. NLL is going like we're up an escalator. It's a very slow escalator. They're running up the stairs, and here's us. It's come on now. See a little bit more. And I'm not saying these things won't happen. I just want to see that from a fan's perspective. Also, player-specific items on the NLL store. The Fanatics experience thing. I don't like the fact, I've heard that you have to pay $200 some to buy a jersey and you have to find it at the arena. Not a fan of that. I wouldn't mind seeing the authentic $200 jerseys at the arena, but I also wouldn't mind going on Fanatics and spending $80 for one. That'd be nice. And if I want to sport a Lyle Thompson jersey, I want to support a Jeff Teague jersey, or a Del Bianco, or a Jeff Teague. Yeah, I would like to have his jersey, or at least a T-shirt with his name. That has got to be a thing. Because we ain't doing crap by selling whatever is on the store right now, barf, okay? I'll be honest, it's garbage. We have to have more. And also, new uniforms. Remember I showed you guys the PLL stuff? How pretty they are. How nice they all are. I do not like the current sweaters. I feel like we could have a different kind of uniform style. I'm obviously I don't have the answer right now. This is why that's not what I do for a living. But I would like to see a new set of uniforms. Now, Panther City and Las Vegas could obviously stay, unless, of course, we got some, champion or, Fanatics even. I mean, even Fanatics is doing the NHL next year. Or we have Nike or Under Armour. That would be, oh my God. I would not be containable if we had those. But even like I said, Fanatics can do that stuff. Like NHL does it with Fanatics. Why can't the NLL? I feel like next year we can do that. So let's do it. Let's get new jerseys. They got to be some awesome designs, but I would not mind seeing new jerseys and new designs on the jerseys. I think it'd be great for the league. Again, it'd be great for the league because you have a new commissioner. It's time to take this thing to the next 10 levels. Okay, we've earned this, Box Lacrosse fans. But of course, I would also like to see one more thing, which I'll get to in the last segment. It's called a merger. With who? Well, someone on the other side teased that already. Daily Dive will be right back. Last Brew presented by B-Riz Coffee Company. When you go to brizcoffeeco.com, use the code DailyDive at checkout when you buy some of their awesome and unique coffee flavors that you never knew you needed to get you through the day. So when you go there and check out, it's coffee made by gamers, for gamers, and of course, lacrosse and Daily Dive fans. Use the promo code DailyDive. It helps out the show tremendously. Okay. Before you crucify me for this graphic right here, let me explain. I'm fully aware the PLL pretty much bought the NLL. Was it Major Lacrosse League or what it was called? I'm aware of that. I'm aware that the NLL and the PLL have not been the best of friends in the past. I'm also aware that Brett Fruit is a brand new commissioner and understands business. And then you get to, and it's on one of my social media accounts, either on my personal or Daily Dive, where Paul Rabel was sitting down with an ESPN person, the same interview I mentioned earlier with the Q4 talking how soon those locations and regions will be announced. And Paul said something very quickly that sounded like, and maybe an NLL merger. I'm like, whoa. Hold on, Paul. What'd you say? I mean, I'm not mad. If there's one thing I have learned this year in season 1 of Daily Dive, I've learned that Paul Rabel's doing things a little bit better. It's not Brett Fruit's fault. He took this thing over, and now we'll see what happens with it. But you obviously have to be envious at the very least. You have to be aware of what the PLL is doing marketing-wise. I mean, it's just beautiful how much interactions they get from fans. NLL, to me, I'll say it again, is a better sport. Because to me, box is better than field. And I think Paul Rabel knows. Box lacrosse will get Canadians involved. There's people that have said that Canadians love the box lacrosse game way more than they love field lacrosse. Honest to God, I see why. Now their thing might be more heritage and values, but me, it's like, God Almighty, it's just better. It's a better looking game for fans. It's in an arena. It's physical. It's fast. It's amazing. Like, what could you not love about the NLL? So when he said NLL merger, like possible NLL merger, I forgot the way he worded it. I was like, something tells me, I'm not saying it's going to be like some big old handshake, lifetime 10-year contract or whatever, where PLL buys out the NLL. I'm not saying all that. I'm saying they can work together more so than they have before. Again, I'm not the greatest in, I don't know it as well as other people do. I can talk about it more than I can, obviously. But there's obviously a bunch of Buffalo Bandits on the Chaos. There's obviously a couple of Mammoth on, I think, the Redwoods or whatever. Like Ryan Lee and McLaughlin. There's things, you can work these things out. Especially let's see if the Chaos go to Buffalo or Albany. That would so help the NLL and the PLL players. Because somebody mentioned something to me that I thought was very peculiar and very interesting. This person said that Dane Smith doesn't have a lot of time off. You're right, he doesn't. And I think there's things that they can work on to coexist. And for Paul Rabel, listen, the thing that really got me again this year, I'll say it again, when Paul Rabel, albeit it may have been my mistake, I don't believe that, but I'll take his word for it. He said Trevor Baptiste was the first black professional lacrosse player. That rubbed a lot of folks the wrong way. I believe it was a low-key shot at the NLL. But Paul came from the NLL. He obviously knows it exists. I'm sure he's very well aware of what's going on. I'm sure he's a very busy man. I'm sure he's very well aware of things. It would not surprise me if one of the changes Brentford has talked about is a sort of handshake agreement. I don't know if it's like a pinky swear or like a big hug. And they're like, okay, I'll see you around, I think there's things that I've learned some things. I don't have a lot to talk about on this, but I just feel like it's possible. When he said NLL merger, I was like, whoa. That did not sound like an M, it sounded like an N. Play it back. I'll try to reach you on Daily Dive and see what you guys think. Maybe it's one of them things where I'm just hearing it wrong. I know people have been canceled for that kind of crap for, good Lord. But again, it sounds like he said NLL merger, like possible NLL merger. I'm like, not mad at him. Not mad at the situation either. So, hey, we'll see what happens. I obviously am just learning this stuff, but it is nice to think about. It is nice that they can say, hey, we can do that. See you around. I don't even know if they exchanged numbers or not. Just follow each other back on Twitter, I guess. I don't know. Oh, this show. All right, that's our last brew. Thanks so much for tuning in. We've got, next Friday's our last show of the season. I'm going to cry. And we still have a Game 3 to play. That's going to be fun. So for everyone that watches the show and tunes in and interacts on Twitter, thank you so much. To everyone that comes on the show as a guest, like yesterday's Cody Jansen, of course, players and coaches in the past. And, of course, for everyone behind the scenes working so hard that's trying to put together a great Season 2 and a great off-season for the Daily Dive, I am your humble host, Michael Carvello, saying have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. This has been Daily Dive. Bye.